Hey guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander talking.
He's Captain Foley.
And this is a Connie. It's how they should look. Let's move on. They got it right, guys.
It's a real good day for all Trek fans, or most Trek fans. My goodness.
Episode 6, Star Trek Picard, The Bounty.
What a gift to hundreds of millions of Trek fans. Potentially a billion Trek fans. Because there's going to be a billion people that know Trek in the world. I don't think you can question that. And they all have a favourite ship, etc. So, wow. And somehow didn't just feel like the very annoying phrase fan service. Because I don't like that in general. It's like, you make stuff for fans, because they're the ones buying and consuming and enjoying. It felt relatively organic. So, Stuart, we, of course, finally went to the museum. We've seen it in trailers. We've been teased it. Already from this picture, you can see some stonkingly nice-looking things. Many of them got shots and close-ups, and of course today we're going to do a deep dive on the New Jersey, the Constitution class. Is it close? Is it the same? The answer is no, actually, but boy is it close. So Stuart, you are the Connie man for decades. How did you feel seeing it on screen? Talk us through those moments.
I was beaming. I mean, it looked fantastic, and we got a very nice close-up of it. Interesting, it's USS New Jersey. It's the new Constitution class. It's almost one of the original 12 is what I'm saying. Which was, great. I didn't expect to see them rebrand one as the Enterprise, because we know that the original Enterprise got refit and then destroyed.
The old Star Trek 3.
I was expecting to see maybe Excalibur, Hood, Congo, one of the original 12. But there's a reason for this. Obviously, somebody in the production wanted this. At NCC 1975, somebody's birth year, I guarantee it.
Oh, if it had been 66. Oh, that would have been so nice. Imagine if it had been USS Desilu 1966. Oh.
But yeah, it was great to see it. It feels very much like promotional artwork for Star Trek Online, though. It just feels like a Star Trek Online ship, is what I'm saying. There's some texturing to the hull and stuff, but other than that, very happy.
I mean, the fact is, it's not a hero model because it's in it for 2 shots. So therefore, it's not going to be what I would do for my fan films where we're doing hero close-ups every goddamn day, and therefore accept the beauty of what you get, obviously. But, I mean, design-wise, and we'll get into subtle differences in a minute, but I mean, it is unabashedly a 1960s original series Connie without any Strange New World isms at all.
Yes, very important. I
mean, the nacelles aren't aren't pushed back. The bridge is the same. There's no bridge window. I mean, this is what it should be. This is what most Trek fans, I say most, even if it's 51%, but most would want to see. And, those obviously the people who say Strange New Worlds, overrides TOS. I mean, clearly not. It's another show it appears in. And not a hologram in the air, an actual diversion. I mean, surely its argument's won by now. Strange was its own thing. Here's a real Connie. Look, or at least the one that Kirk had.
Yeah, because we did see a Strange New Worlds Enterprise in season 1, where he goes to Starfleet's headquarters and looks up, and there's the Enterprise D rotating in a hologram, and then it goes to Strange New Worlds 1. And I was like, oh, really? That's now corrected, so thank you.
Yeah, as Akiva Goldsman and whatnot, and now obviously it's a little bit different. The texturing is more distinct. There's also the registry is differently sized a little bit, and if you look at when it says USS New Jersey, you can see the segmentation of the hull in plates, whereas it should be beautifully smooth and curved. So it's not an overly detailed model, because that shouldn't be there. It should just be beautiful curves.
Devil's advocate, like I said, it's one of the later built original Constitution classes that might have, been a little bit different, upgrading towards that movie era refit.
Yeah. I mean, it's more refitty having the plates. That's very fair. It's also got more blinkies. You got the red and the blue either side, and then 3 front ones.
Yes.
Could just be for the museum. I would be fine with saying it's museum.
It doesn't look like there's the 3 circles at the front of the saucer either. Has a few changes, but yeah. And even the windows on the saucer, there should be like two more, like another deck one.
Now, obviously, a Constitution class is the easiest ship to build in Star Trek universe. There is unlimited reference. There's canon versions that exist in the archives they could have pulled from Intermediate Darkly Enterprise right there. There's model shots. You can go to the Smithsonian. This is a ship that if you want to make it perfect, it's entirely on you as an artist to not make it perfect. There's unlimited... You can literally fly and take pictures of the original. You know, you can't really do it for the other ships. So yes, let's obviously compare them. Here is a pretty damn close side-by-side with, of course, the only canon CGI model of the Constitution-class Enterprise used in Intermediate Darkly, built by Pierre Droulet and Koji for Enterprise. It was first at Defiant, and then made the Enterprise for the final 5 shots of the episode. But this is the only 100% canon model. There we go.
And there you can see the changes. The lack of windows in the secondary hull that I was referring to.
And different windows. They're not the same.
Yes. And the 3 circles at the leading edge of the saucer. And as Samuel was saying, the texturing, obviously, and the registry is slightly smaller. Again, it feels more like an STO version of the Connie. Because when I got my Star Trek Online, my limited collector's edition when it first came out, that came with the Connie. I was so happy to have a Connie when a lot of people didn't, first of all. And it was gray. It had this kind of texturing in gray color with like some darker gray striping. But that's what the registry looked like. It was smaller. So yeah, it feels very much like that kind of version of the Connie.
And it's funny because I tried to match the angle, and I got very close with the nacelles and the secondary hull, but the way the blinkies are, they're
positioned differently. They're not on the exact sides. They're pushed forward a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an odd choice. Yeah, because it's clearly the same angle. Huh.
Yeah, and there's also not the 4 lit squares on top of the saucer, which can be lab windows, or there's a lot of different explanations for what they could be. Those aren't there either.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say the one from Enterprise looks a lot nicer because it's a hero model built by the fans at the time, Work Enterprise, who want to this is our chance to bring it back after the first time in decades. It's a really, really nice model that holds up beautifully today. Clearly much nicer model. And the smoothness, I mean, that is part of the beauty of the original Enterprise, is how gradient it is. The new one, not at all that.
And a lot more secondary hull windows. Usually for the Connie, they don't light the windows in the middle of the secondary hull. They're usually blacked out or dark. But not only are those lit on this one, but there's more windows. If you look back by the rear of the secondary hull at the bottom, you can see like three rows of 2, which are not on the original. So it's like it's a different ship.
Well, yeah,
maybe a later Constitution class.
Yeah. We're just noting the stylistic differences. These aren't complaints. Obviously, it's just like these are the differences that unless you have them side by side, Trekyards, you wouldn't necessarily notice. And that's definitely one of those things that it takes a more nuanced 3D artist to know. You don't have every window on. It's a simple trick. It gives a ship more scale, more lived-in feel. Having every window on, it feels CG because you just have window layer, 100% luminosity.
Argument could be made that for the museum, they'd have all the windows on just to kind of look.
Even the closet windows?
Well, you can't see those from... No.
I think you could argue both, because you wouldn't necessarily want the power drain, etc. Basards are very close. The inner chiller grills look great. The pennant on the secondary hull looks like it goes back differently. The way that's framed is just a bit different. Not a ton, but a little bit. And also the deflector is one giant copper. The Intermediate Darkly one chose to make it a far more bronzy and a silver inner tip. What's more accurate, do you know?
No, the lower ones and all. The new one from Picard here, that color is used for some models of the Constitution class that people have painted over the years. It's kind of been contested, but the one at the bottom is what Gary Kerr would say would be correct. And Gary Kerr is kind of the expert when it comes to the TOS color scheme. So
because I recognize the top deflector color from a model I had when I was like 10.
Yep.
And it was all one piece, I remember specifically.
Yeah.
Because it always came off, and I always lost it, and always found it again. I remember that distinctly. But of course, Stuart, let's do a more detailed, so we can make it more high res. How does the bridge dome look? Because it's definitely shaped a bit different. The Intermediate Darkly more gentle curve up. The other one feels a bit more brute force. I mean, these are subtleties, but we are zoomed in a good amount.
Yes, the contouring is a little different from each one, but and again the window placement and stuff.
It's interesting. I mean,
it is, and it's not something you would notice unless you do a side by side. Because I thought this was pretty much perfect, but the more we dig into the details, and the devil is in the details, or the Ardra is in the details.
Oh. And of course, the irony is they did have this model as part of the Eaglemoss collection that CBS could have asked to give to Picard, so they could have used this model, and they just didn't.
There might be a reason, like I said, especially with the registry and the name on it. I think it's very specific to a person or for a reason, and it could be like the later Constitution class builds, which I think is fine.
Enterprise Classic Refit .2.
Yeah.
Or even it was one of the few that was built in the refit era because they still had to build. They couldn't all swap to the new stuff. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. That's why it's kind of interesting. And it'd be interesting to make this fresh, but as a higher detail model, because obviously you can see the limitations on the 3D model, but keep those harder edges, but in high detail, how that would flow. Because part of why it looks more rough is because it is more rough. But if you add deliberacy to the roughness, it'll look more deliberate.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised that it's as different as it is. So I really appreciate that we do this kind of thing because, you wouldn't notice this necessarily.
And of course, the 60s Enterprise, the miniature, might be different to what they built on Enterprise, but that is the only canon CG model of the Enterprise. So it is a version of the real, for sure. But I mean, obviously, as a general sense, this was a gift. A giant gift. Prodigy showed us the inside. They showed us the outside. It's, it's not even trying. It could have been a hybrid of the two Enterprises. There could have been a Strange World Enterprise there as well. This is what Trek fans, most people want to see, and they didn't have to do a close-up. It could have been there as a subtle thing in the background. But, yeah.
I bought this at the Starfleet Museum. I don't know if I told you that, but yeah, very nice, eh? Connie.
Yeah. I hope it's a popular exhibit there. Cause,
well, it would be, I'm sure.
Because it's the next refit's there, but yeah, big old history there. Amazing, guys, amazing. And hopefully, it's there. Who knows, we might see it later, Frontier Day.
I'm sure we'll see more shots at the museum, so we might see it again, yeah. Anyway, guys, this is the time of the video where you hit that like button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed as well. We have a lot of more breakdown videos like this coming out. We love ships. We're looking at the details. How close are they? Well, we'll tell you. Or you can at least see with your own eyeballs what we're talking about. So subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of that content, and join us for a live. Those are really fun.
Yeah, we talk about everything in these videos, but more, because we've actively not talked about everything in our spoiler review, but the live is where everything's talked about. And of course, we'll be celebrating this episode, all the ships, all the tech, in other lives. So if you want to let us know what you think, and let Terry and Dave, whoever might watch these videos later on, let them know what you guys think, and support us in our mission to do more good Trek for you all by supporting us monthly, by Patreon, or joining the channel on YouTube. The join button, click it, see what the tiers are, or on-time donation at trekyards@hotmail.com. That is the PayPal, or super chatting during live, or super thanksing, both at one time, unless you're generous, then you do it many times. Super thanks is any video, so this one right now, or super chat on a live video when you see us to have your voice heard. We read every single one, as you say it. We're very precise about that. Thank you in advance, and well done, Star Trek Picard.
Thank you for the Connie, guys. Till next time, he's Commander Calkins.
It's kind of early. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.